Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is October the 13th, 2020, and today we're going to be taking a look at Revelation 14. Let's say a quick prayer first. Dear Father, please bless us and teach us and guide us in your will, your words, your truth, and use us as vessels to strengthen and to teach others. Thank you, Father, and praise you. Thy will be done in Yahushua's name, I pray. Amen. Okay, let's go ahead and get to it. Revelation 14 verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. Now we know from previous books that this is the same 144,000 from this is the first group of 144,000, which are the first fruits. I hope you've seen those videos on the first fruits, so that you know that the first group of first fruits are the first groups of 100. The first group of 144,000 are the first fruits of the living, because this is the last days. You will have a living first fruits, and then those that are alive at Yahushua's return. We're not going to go into detail about that because I have videos about that which you can look at. So this is the first group of 144,000 standing on Mount Zion, where the original covenant was made with God's people. And they have their father's name written in their foreheads. Now we saw that in Revelation 3, the Church of Philadelphia. And it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from, hold on. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. So they are sealed, and now they have been redeemed from men alive, and are on Mount Zion with Yahushua. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice, let me see, I think I looked up something for that. Can't remember what it was, but it was something. Okay, we don't really need any of that. Let's just go ahead and continue. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a giant thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. Okay, so the voice from heaven as the voice of many waters is, that is Yahushua and the saints, and the Yahushua and the saints and the angels. The voice, and hold on a second. Let's try many waters. Oh, I think I looked that up too. Many waters. Here we go. 115. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Because he's speaking for himself and all the saints. But it says, hold on. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore, who sitteth upon many waters. Well, she is reigning upon many people. He's speaking for many people. And I heard as it were the voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters. So that's what is being spoken of there. Yahushua is included amongst these many voices here. And then the voice of a great thunder is Yahweh, the Father. And then, and this is the voice of the 144,000 here, the works. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. Did I find anything for harpers? This is just a way of describing them here. Hold on a moment. There was something. Harps. Okay, only 2 verses. That's okay. We'll take a look at them. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. So the harpers, and we know that those 4 beasts are the representatives, the proxies for the saints on earth. We've already gone over that in another video as well. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand in the sea of glass, having the harps of God. So it's something that is unique to us, in the Bible anyway, where we are identified as harpers. And that is what we sing, that is the experience that we go through. It's not necessarily that we play harps, but it's our life represented here on earth as being a harper. Harping with their harps. That's what's going on there. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from earth. And that goes right back to the harpers harping. They are the 144,000. They have a unique experience to the 144,000, which is so unique that they're able to be numbered. You can't number if it's a common, any common thing. It has to be a unique number that's that experiences it, or a group, in order for you to number it. And the 144,000 have a unique experience which only they can claim. So that's what's being that's what's being said here. They sung a new song because they are the first fruits. Okay, they went through the tribulation and they made it out and were redeemed and perfected without dying. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb wheresoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the firstfruits unto God and the Lamb. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. Okay. And I know a lot of people want to believe. I don't truly believe that anybody could legitimately believe that this means virgins, but we're going to. I don't know how people think, so I won't judge here. But let's take a look at what I got here for virgins. It does not mean that you have to be a virgin. You don't. You just don't. This is the parable of the 10 virgins, and I hope you're all familiar with it. I had intended to read it, but we're not going to read it. There's other examples, but you can make yourself familiar with it. It's in Matthew 25, and there are 10 virgins that are waiting on the bridegroom. 5 are foolish and 5 are wise, and the 5 took enough oil so that when the bridegroom came and called them, they were able to go into the wedding supper. Okay, so they went in, and the other 5, of course, were not wise, and they didn't take enough oil or enough of the Holy Spirit, which is what it represented, and they were not timed enough in order to enter in to the wedding supper. So, are we to believe that these 5 virgins? It's not that they were virgins, the parable is to let us know that we need to be prepared. That 5 were prepared. Well, this is a picture of last day events where half are going to be saved also and half are not. But it's just an analogy. A virgin means that you have not, that you are not worshiping other gods, basically. That you are faithful to the bridegroom. That's what it means. You're faithful to the bridegroom, Yahushua. One man, which is always going to be the bridegroom. Here's a quote. There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the... No, that's a bad one. No, I shouldn't have put that in there. Let's go on. For I am jealous over you with a godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you a chaste virgin to Christ. So this is in Corinthians, where all kinds of errors, were in the Corinthians. So, but still, Paul said he wanted to present them a chaste virgin to Christ, without the fornications of false doctrines and false gods and stuff like that. He wanted them to be loyal to Yahushua. That's all it's saying. And that's what virgin means. I can't understand why it would ever mean anything else. Honestly, I just can't understand why somebody would believe you would need to be a virgin to be special to God. That's not true. Anyway, these are they which follow the Lamb. Maybe with men. Maybe it's a man thing. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a man thing. Okay. They're not defiled with women, for they are virgins. I think that's it. These are they which follow the Lamb wheresoever he goeth. These were redeemed from... let's take this one line at a time. These are they which follow the Lamb wheresoever he goeth. And we see this in Revelation 19. And in Revelation 19, we see the 144,000 here. And they're with Yahushua. It says they follow him. Where does it say that at? And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. That's the 144,000 coming back down with Yahushua. But following him wherever he goes also means that they are going to be walking the earth as him. They're going to be perfected here on earth and be a representative of Yahweh as well. Okay. These were redeemed from among men. We know that. We know that they are the first fruits of the living. So they will not die. They will go to heaven or be taken up without ever seeing death, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. And here it says they're the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb, whereas Yahushua was the first fruits of the dead unto God. But now that God and Yahushua reign, then they have the first fruits of the living. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. Okay, I don't think we need to elaborate on that. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. So an angel is just a messenger that is giving. This is to show that the word of God is going to go out. There's going to be a loud cry that's going to go out across the world. And since this is the final message in Revelation 14, all 3 messages are going to go out, as opposed to Revelation 18. Let's look at Revelation 18, where this is our time where only the first two messages are going to go out. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. That's the second message, and it goes on. But all three messages, the first, the second, and the third, are going to go out in the last days for the 11th hour church. And I know we skipped 12 and 13. Yahweh willing, of course, we will go back to that. But if you've been following along, you know, we've been in those books several times, and we're kind of burnt. I don't know if you are, but I'm kind of burnt out on them. So Yahweh willing, we'll just be circling back to those at a later time. So, in every nation and kindred and tongue and people. So the word is going to go out to the entire world, and this is to note that it's going out to the entire world, and he's flying in the midst of heaven to show how quickly it's going to go out, and how that it is going to have the power of heaven behind it, and it's going to go out worldwide, basically. But that's what this means right here. It's going to go out to the church and to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. Let me see if that and is right there, because we know it also goes out, yeah, and to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. It's going to go out. Everyone's not going to hear it because, well, everyone's not going to be judged, because we still have the gathering after this. And that's going to show up here as well. Saint, we've been through this book as well. You might know all of it, but we'll go over it for those that have not seen those videos. Sing with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. So this is a call back to the fourth commandment, to keep the Sabbath. This is the exact wording that is used in the fourth commandment. Let's see. Okay, I got a couple of verses. I put the fourth commandment last. And God, which made, happy is he that has the God of Jacob for his help, whose hope is in the Lord his God, which made heaven and earth and sea and all that therein is, which keepeth truth forever. And when they heard that, they lifted up their voices to God with one accord and said, Lord, thou art God, which has made heaven and earth and the sea and all that in them is. Let's continue. And saying, Sirs, why do ye these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that ye should turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth and the sea and all things that are therein. And then here in Exodus 20, it gives you the 10 commandments, and the fourth commandment, of course, being to remember the Sabbath day. And we'll continue on verse 11. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day, wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So that's going to be part of the loud cry. But also it said, also it tells you that the first part is the hour of the judgment has come. The end has come. So the first part of the message is judgment has come, so keep the Sabbath. Fear God and keep his Sabbath. We already know to keep the other 10. We already know those are wrong. But we're going to obviously be taught that this one is okay. So that's part of the message, to stop breaking the Sabbath, as it says throughout the rest of the Bible. And then the second message to go out is, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So Babylon is fallen. Now Babylon is God's people, basically, and it has become so. Well, it's fallen. It's because it's twice. It happens twice. We know that this message goes out, but it's fallen because where it says she made. Hold on. She made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. We know that Yahweh he calls his relationship with his people. He compares it to that of a marriage. And her fornication is her out there worshiping other idols and worshiping other gods. And her wine, drinking of her wine, are her lies and her deceptions, which is tricking other people to go along with her in her fornications. And not only does she fornicate and bring the wrath upon herself, but she is out there teaching other nations to do it. She is going exactly against what she has been called to do. She's out there teaching other nations to betray God as well. And so wrath just means that well, actually they're going to tell you that it's going to be poured out without mixture. So it's going to be unbridled wrath without any mercy that's going to be poured out upon her before her betrayal. Anyway, she's fallen. She has become an abomination to God. And so the world is going to be warned to get away from her. So, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So, the third angel goes out. All of these are going out. And this is the same mark of Revelation 13, where the mark of the beast in the forehead is in the thoughts, and in the hand is in his works. If you have the mark of the beast in your forehead, then you really do believe the lies. You are worshiping the idols, and you believe that this is truly the way that the Lord wants you to worship. Because that's what you deceived yourself, basically. If you're worshiping in your works or your hand, then you're just going along to get along. You don't really believe it. You don't really care. But you don't want the tribulation that goes along with being a saint. Or you don't want to lose your job. Or you don't really have enough faith. You haven't gotten enough of the Holy Spirit in order to stand up to the people and do as you really believe or what you know to be right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the definitions that I have for those. Forehead, remember, is your mind. Therefore the showers have been withholden, and there hath been no latter rain, and thou hast a whore's forehead. Thou refusest to be ashamed. So that's the mindset of a whore. That's the way she thinks. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. So if his forehead is strong against their looks and their condemnations, whether they be right or wrong, and he's not going to fear them or be dismayed at their looks. Because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is as an iron sinew, and thou brow brass. The brow is the forehead here. Hold on. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they that went forth out of my mouth, and I shewed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass, because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is an iron sinew, and thy brow brass. I have even from the beginning declared it to thee before it came to pass. I shewed thee, lest thou shouldst say, mine idol hath done them, and my graven image and my molten image hath commanded them. Okay, well, it's because we were stubborn. He had to tell us beforehand, and the prophecies were from him. Therefore the showers have been withholden, and there hath been no latter rain, and thou hast a horse. Oh, okay, we already did that one. So let's do hand. Oh wow, I put 7 in here. I must have spirited. Mark 14:58. We heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another made without hands. And saith unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. So the hands is your works that you do with your hands. O Lord my God, if I have done this, if there be iniquity in my hands and my works. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Therefore hath the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight. He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul into vanity, nor sworn deceitfully, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of brightness. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men, in whose hand is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. We heard him say, I will destroy this temple that made the... Okay, we already read that one. Okay, so let's go back. So, see the mark of the forehand. Okay, so if the people receive a mark, or if they follow Satan basically in mind or in deed, those are the ones that will drink the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured without mixture, without mercy, into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. This brimstone, I do believe, is a touchstone. I do believe that is fire and judgment, basically. The brimstone, but I don't know if I looked up fire and brimstone. I think that word, I believe the universalist when it comes to that word, that it was originally touchstone. And wow, I put 8 verses in here for that. I'm not sure why. Let's take a look at what I got. But the same day Lot went out of Sodom, and it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Yeah, because brimstone doesn't burn, just so you guys know. It rained judgment. And then the brimstone is the fearness of the judgment. It rained a fear judgment from heaven, just commensurate with what their deeds were. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lion, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke. And this is the brimstone right here, not that one there. That's a different one. This is the second one. This is the one for the actual judgment. By these 3 were the third part of men killed by the fire and the smoke and the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Now this is not the second lake of fire, and that's why it says into a lake of fire. Let's see if it's this. Into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the devil that deceived them was cast into, and it says, the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. We're not going to go into that right now. We've already talked about that. Maybe another time. Oh, here, I put it in here. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and the idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So the lake of fire and brimstone is the second death, but not a lake of fire and brimstone is just going to be persecution. A lake. Extreme persecution. I remember reading something from Sister White, and it's one of those things where I don't like before with when I read This Is Jesus. I read it, but then I could never find it again. And she was saying that, if it was real, it said that something like, when Yahushua returns, if you're familiar with the fifth vial, then you know when Yahushua returns. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So, hold on. Okay, so on the fifth vial, it's poured out against the beast and his kingdom. So all those priests and all those prophets and all of those people that are standing up for him, all of those are gonna have the vial poured out against them, right? And then right after that, the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof is dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Sister White was telling me that, not me, I read something by Sister White was saying that when Yahushua appears in the clouds, when he comes in the clouds and the people see him, some of those people are literally, not literally, yeah, I think she said literally, going to turn mad. They are just going to go mad when they see him in the air, and they are going to be at the point where they could just rip those preachers from limb to limb, just rip them apart. That is how mad they are going to be. So it may be when that fifth vial is poured out that Yahushua is seen in the clouds, and the persecution that comes upon the preachers and all of them that's going to be coming upon them is going to come, because at that moment when the people see Yahushua coming in the clouds, they're going to realize that they've been lied to, that they've been deceived. And they really deceived themselves, and they probably sought out those preachers to help them deceive themselves. But that's not going to matter. They're going to blame the preachers with one accord, and they are going to want to just kill them and rip them apart. I remember she specifically said that they're going to either act like madmen or they're going to be mad. I just remember the word mad. Anyway, we'll continue on. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. We're at 34 minutes. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So this part, I think in this part we've already gone through. It's not going to take that much time, but we're going to do a second video anyway. I don't want the video to be too long. So we're going to stop here and we will pick up on in verse 12. All right. Yahweh bless.